Have you ever wondered what the people who work closest to the rich and powerful really know? The driver who opens the car door. The security guard who never speaks. Sometimes those invisible people carry secrets that could destroy entire empires. For 6 years, Chukwudi drove one of the wealthiest businessmen in southeastern Nigeria. Everyone believed Chief Ignatius Okoro was untouchable. Only one man knew the truth. And that truth nearly cost him his life. It was 2004, and Onitsha was alive long before sunrise. Traders dragging goods toward the famous market, buses fighting motorcycles for space, hawkers chasing every slowing car. Above the noise stood the mansion of Chief Ignatius Okoro, a man people simply called Oga. His wealth was impossible to ignore. He imported European cars, had a spare parts empire, and spent his weekends entertaining politicians and traditional rulers. To the public he was a generous philanthropist, donating to churches, paying school fees, sponsoring festivals, praised wherever he went. But inside the mansion, another version of Chief existed, one only a handful of people ever saw. One of them was his driver. At 38, Chukwudi lived quietly behind the mansion, in the boys' quarters. He'd learned every one of Chief's habits: the coffee made with exactly 2 sugars, the shortcuts through the city, the checkpoints where a folded note changed hands without a word. Driving a wealthy man meant overhearing conversations never meant for outsiders, watching powerful men smile by day and plot by night. For years he told himself none of it was his business. He had a wife and 3 children depending on his salary. Keeping quiet wasn't cowardice, it was survival. Then one rainy night, Chief burst out of the warehouse meeting, soaked and breathing hard. "Drive. Now." As lightning flashed across the windshield, Chukwudi saw a dark red stain on the cuff of Chief's white shirt. Blood. Chief caught his eyes in the mirror. "What are you looking at?" "Nothing, Oga." "Good." The next morning, a well-known businessman was found dead in a hotel room. Police blamed armed robbers. Days later, Chukwudi drove Chief to the funeral, where Chief embraced the grieving family, wept, even paid burial expenses. Watching from beside the car, Chukwudi remembered the blood, the fear, the midnight escape, and said nothing. Who would believe the driver over one of the richest men in the state? Strange things kept happening after that. Scratches on Chief's hands. Late-night stops where unknown men exchanged black bags through the car window. A gold wristwatch, a woman's earring, left behind and never asked about. Items Chukwudi quietly locked away in a metal box beneath his bed, not knowing why, only sensing that one day they might matter. Then a young businessman named Emeka arrived at the mansion, unafraid of Chief in a way no one else was. Their meeting turned into shouting. "You think money can erase the past?" Emeka shouted. "You don't know what you're talking about," Chief snapped back. "I have proof of what happened years ago," Emeka said. When he walked out, he paused beside the car, and for a moment, he looked like a man who knew he was running out of time. That night, Chief told his driver, "Be ready, we're making one last stop tonight." Chukwudi felt a chill. Something told him nothing would ever be the same. Rain fell in sheets as they drove to a quiet residential estate. Chief carried a black leather bag inside a hedged compound, warning Chukwudi to stay in the car and not follow. For a moment Chukwudi obeyed. Then something inside him refused. He switched off the headlights, locked the car, and crept along the hedge to an open window. Inside, voices rose. "You should have listened to me," Chief said. "You've been lying for years," Emeka answered. "I have documents. I have witnesses. If anything happens to me, people will come looking." Chief only laughed. "They already know you're making enemies." Suddenly, a crash. Furniture scraping. A shout. A heavy thud. Chukwudi pressed record on the small phone in his pocket, holding it toward the window as the struggle continued. "You forced this. I'll tell everyone." Then a scream. Another crash. And silence. The kind of silence that sends chills down your spine. Minutes later, Chief emerged, breathing heavy, the leather bag fuller than before. Drive. Back at the mansion, over a glass of brandy, Chief delivered a warning dressed as gratitude. You saw nothing tonight. You heard nothing. If anyone asks, you know nothing. Yes, Oga, Chukwudi answered. Chief smiled without warmth. You are a smart man, Chukwudi. I hope you remain one. The next morning, news broke that Emeka had been found dead, armed robbers, police said. Chief shook his head sadly over breakfast, called it a tragedy, and reached for another slice of bread. Watching him, Chukwudi felt sick at how easily someone could pretend. In the weeks that followed, Chief grew suspicious, asking unexpected questions, changing routes without warning, staring into the rearview mirror for minutes at a time. What time did you sleep yesterday? Did anyone visit you? Have you been talking to strangers? It felt less like driving, and more like being watched. Realizing the danger, Chukwudi copied his recording onto cassette tapes at a small shop across town. Never using his real name, each tape wrapped in plain brown paper. One he hid with an elderly uncle. Another with a cousin in a neighboring town. A third disappeared into the care of someone even Chief would never suspect. If anything happened to him, the truth would survive, though he knew evidence alone wasn't enough. Powerful men had escaped just as before. He needed patience, and the right moment. One afternoon in traffic, Chief leaned forward. You've become nervous lately. You avoid looking at me. I'm concentrating on the road. I like loyal people. And I reward loyalty. A pause. But betrayal is something I never forgive. For the first time in 6 years, Chukwudi wasn't sure he'd make it home alive. Days later, Chief hosted one of the biggest celebrations of the year. Business leaders, politicians, traditional rulers, all smiling beneath bright lights, unaware of the darkness behind the host's charm. Hours later, mid-party, Chief stormed toward the car, face red with anger. Warehouse. Now. Rain returned as they drove into the dark riverside road. Pull over, Chief ordered. The engine idled. Then Chukwudi heard the unmistakable sound of metal. Chief had drawn a pistol. Turn around. You've disappointed me. My men searched your room. They found your little metal box. Where are the copies? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't insult my intelligence. Chukwudi took a breath. If I disappear tonight, people will know why. Who will believe a driver? The recordings will. I mailed instructions. If I don't return home, everything is delivered. Chief's grip tightened on the gun. You ungrateful fool, you were nobody before I employed you. Chukwudi met his eyes. You gave me a job, but you expected me to surrender my conscience. Then, headlights. One vehicle, then another, surrounding the Mercedes. Red and blue lights cut through the rain. Drop the weapon. Step out of the vehicle. Chief froze, staring at his driver in disbelief. Earlier that afternoon, Chukwudi had quietly called a trusted investigator from a public telephone. No name, just a location, a time, and one sentence. If you want the truth about Chief Okoro, follow him tonight. You. Chukwudi said nothing. Realizing there was nowhere left to run, Chief placed the pistol down and stepped out into the rain, glaring at the man he'd underestimated for 6 years. How? You were just my driver. You are nobody. Chief shouted. The investigation that followed lasted months. Financial records were examined line by line. Witnesses who had been too afraid to speak for years finally came forward, one after another, once they realized Chief could no longer protect or threaten them. The recordings Chukwudi had preserved helped investigators piece together conversations that raised serious questions, leading them to evidence that had stayed hidden for years. Hidden bank accounts, falsified contracts, and the names of men who had disappeared long before anyone thought to ask why. One by one, the image of the untouchable businessman crumbled. The mansion that once hosted lavish celebrations stood empty. Luxury cars were seized. Business partners who'd once rushed to shake Chief's hand suddenly claimed they barely knew him. Because power, Chukwudi realized, often attracts friends. But when that power disappears, so do they. Chukwudi quietly resigned from driving. He never gave interviews, never tried to become famous. He simply returned to his family, and they settled into a modest home far from the noise of the city. Some evenings he'd sit on the veranda as the cool breeze moved through the palm trees and his children laughed in the yard. Life was simple, peaceful, exactly what he had always wanted. Sometimes he remembered the mansion, the expensive cars, the men who believed money placed them above everyone else. And he'd smile, because he had learned one lesson that no amount of wealth could buy. Never underestimate the quiet person in the room. The one who speaks the least often sees the most. And sometimes, the person holding the steering wheel is the one who ultimately decides where the journey ends. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, let us know in the comments which part stayed with you the most. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, thank you for watching.